2 months after an EF4 tornado ripped through southern Kentucky, we hear from a dispatcher who survived the twister. And with some students heading back to school this week, we hear from police about what folks need to know about buses being active on the road.
And we're seeing mostly cloudy skies out there right now. Some places seeing a little bit of rain. We'll tell you how long that'll last coming up in a few minutes.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
One of the largest buildings impacted by the May tornado in southern Kentucky was the RECC headquarters in Somerset. The main office building was destroyed. A dispatcher was working inside that building and rode out the storm. He survived, all because of how that room was designed. WYMT's Bill Pendleton spoke to him and RECC officials about how they are moving forward.
That we could restore that.
Jeff Baker had only been working as a dispatcher with South Kentucky RECC for 8 months.
Going through our normal routine, that was my normal shift.
As the all-night dispatcher on May 16th and had been watching the storms roll through southern Kentucky.
Nothing prepared me for nothing like that, though.
Within seconds, it hit, and then it was over.
And it sounded like you were sitting in a, pretty much sitting in a airport and the jet taking off.
You could hear the building coming apart, yet he was completely safe.
I looked out that door, and I could see the wiring and the wood and everything else flying by the door out down the hallway.
The room where Jeff Baker was working was specially designed to withstand severe Kentucky weather. 16-inch steel reinforced concrete walls as well as a concrete roof. All around him was destruction. A tower had collapsed. There was nothing he could do, but he was fine.
It absolutely did. It probably saved Jeff's life.
The irony is their purpose is to work to get the lights back on after storms, but they were in the dark too. Despite the losses, they still managed to mobilize.
It was shaky there for a day or two, but within a week we had everybody back on.
Just surreal. I mean, I was sit there and watch that building get out that little window getting blown apart, and I'm sitting in this room.
Officials say the design for the new building will also include a reinforced dispatch room to ensure dispatchers can do their jobs despite the disaster that may be happening outside. In Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
South Kentucky RECC is planning to rebuild at the same location, but it's a process that could take several years. A man is dead after a side-by-side crash in Knott County. KSP troopers responded to the crash just before 3 p.m. on Saturday on Starfire Hall Road in the Towcombe area. During their investigation, troopers say Michael Miller lost control of the side-by-side he was operating before it overturned. He was thrown from his side-by-side, sustaining fatal injuries. He was pronounced dead at the scene by officials with the Knott County Coroner's Office. A Wolfe County man pleaded not guilty after he had been indicted for conspiracy to distribute meth in 3 counties. Clyde Endicott appeared in court last Friday for an arraignment in the case. According to an indictment, he was indicted for conspiring with others to distribute 50 grams or more of a mixture containing meth. The indictment says the incident happened between June 2023 and June of this year in Breathitt County, Magoffin County, and Wolfe County. In Whitley County, a man was sentenced to 15 years in prison for trafficking meth. According to his indictment, 33-year-old Buck McGregor of Williamsburg was indicted for trafficking in a controlled substance. The indictment says McGregor knowingly and unlawfully sold more than 2 grams of meth. The indictment says the incident happened in September of last year. In Knox County, a man appeared in court in connection with a murder case. Brian Smith was charged with murder in connection with the death of Shelby McIntyre. That incident happened back in 2023 when Knox County Sheriff deputies say they found McIntyre dead inside a home in the Gray community. KSP troopers say Smith shot McIntyre and drove away from the scene before he was later arrested. A pretrial conference for Smith was scheduled for August 22nd. In Madison County, deputies with the sheriff's office are looking for a white Chevy Impala after the person driving it struck a police cruiser on I-75. Deputy Michael Stotts says he was on his way back from Lexington when he saw a damaged cruiser on the shoulder between mile markers 88 and 90. He says the sedan was driving on the inside of the construction barrels when a deputy monitoring the construction zone attempted to stop the car. Stott says folks need to slow down when they see those orange cones.
They're there for a reason, and the biggest part is safety. Not only do you have grooved pavement and milled asphalt in those locations, you also have workers present. So they're there for the safety of the workers and the motorists.
Deputy Stott says anyone who goes around the construction barriers will be cited and could face criminal charges. Well, we've enjoyed a nice break from the hot weather for these past few days. First Alert meteorologist Eric Dean has our first look at the forecast. Eric.
Oh my goodness, Caroline, it's been beautiful out there in terms of temperatures. We've had the low humidity. We've had the temperatures in the 70s and 80s. Had a little bit of rain, but still. That's it. Right now we're seeing mainly cloudy skies in Breathitt County near Jackson. Look at that temperature, 73 degrees. Feels like 73 out there. Here's a live pinpoint Doppler radar. A few little renegade showers being picked up right now. Other than that, that's about it. The majority of us staying dry. We'll keep that rain chance in the forecast as we go throughout the next several hours. A renegade thunderstorm or two, certainly not out of the question as well over the next few hours. Temperatures right now, 70s and 80s. We're at 82 in Somerset. We're at 80 in Harlan. 10 cooler in Wise, 79 Prestonsburg, 79 is the current temperature in Moorhead. If you have plans tonight, again, take the rain gear with you just in case you get under a shower or two. The majority of us will stay cloudy. Temperatures will stay in the mid-70s. As we help you plan your overnight hours, by 1 o'clock, we'll see partly cloudy skies. Mixture of sun and clouds to start your Tuesday. We'll see mid-60s when you wake up in the morning. Details coming up in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes. Caroline.
All right, Eric, thank you. As students throughout the region head back to school, local law enforcement urges drivers to be safe and alert on the roads, especially around school buses. WYMT's McKinley Calandrino spoke to law enforcement about what you should look out for as schools begin to start back up.
It's almost that time of year when school buses are back on the roads, children are waiting at bus stops, and school zones are in full effect.
School's been out about 3 months. People get used to not seeing them. But these buses, they run during their times of commutes, going while everybody's going to work, coming home while people's getting off work mostly.
Local law enforcement says as buses and more morning traffic hit the streets, it's important to slow down because one mistake can take away a child's life. According to Kentucky state law, drivers must stop for a school bus when the stop arm is extended, no matter what side of the road you are on, unless it is a divided highway.
The big thing is people needs to not text and drive, be vigilant, you know, both hands on the wheel, pay attention. You got a lot of children that's on the roadway.
Local sheriffs say it's important for drivers to be cautious around school buses on the road, but it's just as important for parents to talk to their kids about being safe at the bus stop and on the way to school.
Look both ways. Look at the traffic that's coming, and also make sure that somebody's not going to pass that school bus from coming from behind. So help keep everyone safe. Just a simple conversation with your child can, you know, make sure they get home safe.
With a little extra precaution from everyone, local law enforcement hopes this school year begins and ends safely. In Perry County, McKinley Calandrino, WYMT Mountain News.
Sheriff Engel says they receive several complaints yearly of drivers passing school buses, but they take it very serious and punishment could result in jail time. The back-to-school supply lists are long and can often come with a hefty price tag for families. So one hair salon in Pike County wanted to lend a helping hand, or several. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has a look at their Pay What You Can promotion.
With the pressures of back-to-school preparation weighing on families in Pike County, the professionals at the Hair Loft wanted to help cut the costs for families in need.
Like their parents can't really afford the financial burden of getting their kids haircuts, and we feel like every kid deserves a fresh haircut for back to school.
Stylist Casey Lewis says she came up with the idea to offer a Pay What You Can Day to get students in the chairs and the hair on the floor.
It is a burden. It's a lot. You know, school clothes, school supplies, shoes, everything that you have to be able to get for your kid to go back to school. It's a lot. And just this little bit that I can do, I feel like is a blessing to be able to do.
So 3 of the Hair Loft stylists got to work. cutting hair for more than 20 kids.
And we've had some that's paid $5, $10 a kid. We've had some they don't have the money, and we're like, that's fine.
The salon's co-owners say it was a great way to give back to the community they call home.
Just any salon, I feel like this is the least we could do for kids to, have a good haircut or feel good about themselves.
Buzzing about the smiles in each mirror.
It feels amazing. I had a little girl earlier. She was almost in tears because she was so happy with her hair. And I told the other girls in the salon, if I don't do another haircut today, that right there just made my day. That was worth it.
Saying at the end of the day, it is not about the split ends or the fresh fades. It is about the roots.
This is where our roots are, and this is where we need to invest in. This is where we need to give back to.
In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
The stylists say the families were appreciative for the event, but it also gave them a renewed appreciation for what they do every day.
All right, here's a live pinpoint Doppler radar right now showing a few little splash and dash showers throughout eastern Kentucky. We'll tell you how long the rain chances will be lingering coming up.